Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast. My name is Coach Scott. I'll be your host today. It is Thursday, April 16th. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. We got that podcast out with Patrick Carey, triathlon coach and cycling expert. Good podcast. Really had fun talking to him. He's a good dude, knows his stuff. Check it out if you get a chance. It's been a pretty busy week here. Otherwise, we're really working hard on the Ordinary Marathon. Ordinary Marathon now starts in less than a month, guys. Less than a month away. It's May 8th through May 17th. If you haven't registered yet, go on over to ordinarymarathon.com. And get registered. It's $30. If you use the coupon code ORDINARY, you get $5 off of there. We're really looking forward to it. We got a new inflow of registrations towards the end. We're actually at the point now, I believe we've already ordered the bibs, and I think we've already ordered the shirts. Some people just got under the wire for those. You can still get the shirt. We can't necessarily guarantee that it's going to be there for race day. The medals are in. These are awesome. These are, this is like hardcore stuff here, guys. This is legit medals. Ordinary Marathoner logo. It says, every day is an ordinary day unless you make it extraordinary. It fit all those words, spelled properly and everything, with our Team Ordinary logo on the back. Very excited about this. The ribbon here is awesome. It's got our little logo here, right in the back. It just looks great. It looks great. Scott Frassard has done a great job for us yet again. Again, I'm pointing the wrong side. Yet again, and really outdone himself this year with these medals. They're absolutely insane. I love them. So get registered at ordinarymarathon.com. Now, that being said, I'm trying to think of, a lot of people ask me questions. Oh, well, I can't run a marathon. Well, you don't have to run a marathon to be in the Ordinary Marathon. That's why it's ordinary. It's for ordinary people. And it's 10 days. So a lot of people, what they do is they look at this and they say, all right, I'm not in marathon shape. I don't think I can make 26.2 miles in one day, but maybe I could do it over 10 days. And it's kind of like an interesting thing. Now, again, you don't have to do that. You don't have to win the medal, to earn this piece of bling, this high class little thingy here. All you have to do is register and participate. All you have to do is get out there. You can walk, you can run, you can cycle, you can do whatever it is that you do for exercise, and then post it to social media. Go over to our Facebook group, our discussion group called Ordinary Marathoners. Post it over there. Post it on Twitter. We have two addresses at Twitter. One is for the Ordinary Marathoner page. It's called ORD Marathoner. And then the other one is for the race itself. It's called Ordinary Race. You can go follow those sites. Whenever you run or whenever you finish an activity, snap a picture of yourself, throw it up there, hashtag Ordinary Marathon, and we'll get this thing going. Again, it doesn't start till May 8th, so hang on till May 8th. We do so May 8th is a Friday, and what is tradition. And last year, I did have some people, I think Ronald Booz took me up on this. We did a Midnight Madness. It was basically on Thursday night. As soon as that clock turns midnight, I go on the treadmill, I run a mile, Midnight Madness, start the thing off right, and get it moving from there. It's been kind of a fun thing to do. I always hope that more and more people join me in this. We'll see what happens this year. But you stay up till midnight. It's kind of annoying, but you run a mile and it gets things going, and it's pretty cool. I enjoy that very much. So there's that. There's just a lot going on, guys. And then we do the video after. We give away prizes daily. We've got a lot of prizes on the board. Brian Burke has donated a couple of books again, as always. He's awesome. Queen Bean Coffee. She's one of our sponsors. She has donated another coffee basket. Athena Fitness, which was the old Greasy Girl headbands. They've changed their name to Athena Fitness Collections. She's donating a shirt, as always, and we're going to give away some extra race shirts. Might be a coaching giveaway. We're looking at that. Potential coaching giveaway. I hope you guys are interested in that. We'll see how that works. And then Grandma Junie from Grandma Junie Has a Potty Mouth. Yes, she's a sponsor of two. She's a sponsor of the race as well. She's giving away 2 or 3 water bottles and things that she makes in her home business, which is really cool. She actually does really good work. Last year they were super cool. We did a whole bunch of things. It was just really great. So a lot of things so far to give away. And again, all you have to do is participate. go onto social media, use that hashtag Ordinary Marathon, or post your runs somewhere, and then every single day we will raffle off a gift donated to us by our sponsors, and we raffle amongst those who have run the day before. So if you participate the day before, you'll be in the next day's raffle. That's how it works. It's been a lot of fun, guys, a lot of fun. Now, this year's a little bit different, right? Virtual races, I think a little bit more in the spotlight this year. We had Ironman just did a big virtual race for their product. I think a lot of people participated. But virtual races are in the spotlight because we can't gather, right? We can't have large gatherings right around now because we're being forced to stay inside. It's not a quarantine, folks. Can I tell you that? People talk about, I call it the quasi-quarantine because we want to think of it. The easiest word to say that we know is quarantine, but quarantine is when you're sick and they don't let you out of the house. I'm not sick, so I'm not being quarantined by definition. I'm being held against my will. I am being forced to stay indoors. Now, yes, you can be, regardless, whatever your level of staying indoors is, you're doing the best for you and your family, but it's not, technically it's not a quarantine, it's something else. But the easiest word to say is quarantine. So I think we've been using that language. But anyway, so if you have to stay home, if you have an exercise bike or a treadmill, and that's how you have to participate, that is fine. If your area allows you to get out and you feel comfortable getting out, get out and run, get out and bike, do whatever you need to do to participate in the race over that week. We might be open up by then anyway. I don't know, May 8th or May 17th might be open anyway. So we'll see how all that goes. Really looking forward to it this year though. But with it being, within a month, I was trying to think of things that we could do to sort of prepare ourselves for the Ordinary Marathon. And I know, my training is kind of the last couple of weeks, I've definitely sort of picked it up a notch. I started running a little bit more often. I feel like a little stronger on the bike. But one of the things as a coach and as an athlete, a concept that I think really is important is testing. And I want to talk a little bit about testing today and how we can maybe do some things to lead, especially because this year's just a little bit different. It's just a little bit different with the imprisonment, the home imprisonment that we're all going under. So because it's a little different, I thought maybe we could do something now. And because I'm a big fan of testing, especially as a coach, and testing is important. Now, it's important to athletes. Let's just focus in on something. I think it's important for athletes who want to get faster, want to get better. Now, not all, and I specify that because, if you're just someone who likes to go out and run for fun, that's awesome. You don't need to test necessarily. If you just like to go out and run for fun or bike for fun and it keeps you active and up and at 'em and just staying active and being healthy. That's totally cool. You might not need to, maybe it's not your thing to overexert yourself in one particular workout. Got it. Makes total sense, right? But if you're an athlete that is looking to get better, looking to get faster, looking to be able to run further, then testing is important because you want to make sure that the plans that you've put in place, and whether you're doing that on your own, whether you're doing that with research online, whether you're doing it with the help of a coach, all that stuff, you want to make sure that those plans, when they're put in place, that it's getting you faster. It's getting you to your goals. You're getting better and better. You're moving in a positive direction. And if you're not testing, then you're kind of just out there, right? You're kind of just hoping that it's working at the time. And sometimes, if it's not working, you're going to have to take a different approach. You're going to have to change your approach in different areas. Make sense? Makes sense. And especially, I think as a coach, once I started as a coach, it's definitely important because sometimes athletes will say, I've been doing the same thing or whatever, not the same thing, but I've been doing, this routine of bike, run, maybe swim, whatever, over and over. And I don't feel, you have maybe string together a couple of bad workouts and you're like, I don't feel like I'm getting better. Case in point, actually not case in point, but the purpose of testing. If you get in that mode, you take a break, you kind of just take a day off, get yourself in good shape, in a good spot to be, eat right, sleep right, and then get out and do the test. Assuming that you've done a test already, you set that baseline test the first time, right? And then you do the test again, whether it be a month, 2 months, a quarter, half a year, a full year, whatever. You do the test again, and you make sure you're getting better. And you just say, wow, this is working. Hopefully it is working, especially if you're staying busy and active. Hopefully it is working. So I wanted to talk about that today because I thought maybe if we did something regarding testing, and in addition to the ordinary marathon this year, that it would be kind of interesting to say, all right, let's test today, or let's test by the end of this weekend, which is sort of my goal. It's this project thing that I kind of want to get going. And let's test today or through the weekend, mark that spot, and let's get after it, guys. Let us train hard from now until and right on through, not up to the ordinary marathon, but through the ordinary marathon, which ends May 17th. Then we'll give ourselves a rest day or two, and then we'll test again, and we'll see how we do. See out there who amongst us can improve the most over a little over a month. It's a fair period of time to test. It's a little bit on the short side, I'll be honest, a little bit on the short side. But with a month, you can definitely get better within a month if you work hard, avoid injury, work smart. Work smart should have been before avoid injury, because if you work smart, then your chances to better chance to avoid injury. You get it. You get the point. So the question becomes, all right, well, what do I do as a test? What do you mean test? What am I going to do as a test? So for me, and this is kind of off the top, I should have took note. I should have just actually sat down and gave it some thought. But for me, I think there's just a few different things. But there's, obviously you want to test in the discipline that you're working on. So if you're just a runner, you're just going to test in running, right? You might use the bike as a cross trainer, but your point, the thing that you're trying to improve is your running. So you're just going to focus on the running. If you're a triathlete, you're going to want to focus on all three disciplines: swim, bike, run. Now, most of us, I don't even have access to a pool right now. So I'm not even swimming. So we're going to just kind of forget the swim portion. We're going to talk about testing for bike, and we're going to talk about testing for run. Now, the important things, the things I think are important for testing. Number one is you have to choose a test that is accessible to you as an athlete. And what I mean is, look, my test is not going to be go out and run 20 miles. That would be ridiculous. I don't even know if I could do that right now. That's a hard test. That would be above my current fitness level. So when I say accessible, it means you have to be able to do it. So maybe appropriate is a better word. It has to be appropriate. So if you're, as a coach, if I'm working with a client who just rolled off the couch, who's like, look, I got to get busy. I got to start running. I'm not going to say, all right, let's test on day one, because I don't know what the person can do. I don't know if they can even run a mile. And not that there's anything wrong with that. I would expect they couldn't run a mile. The thing is, you want to kind of gauge where they are and then apply the appropriate test. Now, with my athletes, a lot of times I just use a mile run. So what I have them do is I say, all right, go out there, do a 10-minute warm-up, then run your hardest 1 mile, as hard as you can, all-out effort, 1 mile. And I do like that test for a couple reasons. I like it because it's a nice short burst period of time, but it's long enough to get a good picture of fitness. Also like it because you don't exert yourself over a longer period of time for the run, overexerting yourself, potentially being ripe for injury. I don't want you doing a race. I want you running a 1 mile hard. But that being said, there's other coaches or other people may go after a different test. A lot of people do 5K, right? Do your best 5K time. Do your best 5K today. That's cool too. I know one coach, and she sets her workouts up like this. She sets her test up as a 15-minute warm up, and then 30 minutes, hard as you can go for 30 minutes, and then a 15-minute cool down. So that 30 minutes in between. So number two important thing of a test, of a proper test, it has to be measurable, right? It has to be something that you can measure. And so for her, whereas my athletes doing a mile, they'll measure in time. How fast can you do that mile? I'll have a time, 9 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it may be. So for her athletes, instead of doing a time, it'll be measured in distance. You got a half an hour, go as far as you can go. So it's measurable. Test is measurable. And then, what was the third thing that I was going to say? The third thing for testing is it's got to be, and this is the last point. The last point is it's got to be repeatable. and you want it to be repeatable and comparable. So that you're, I had a boss that used to always apples to apple. You got to compare apples to apples, apples to apples. And I think she just liked saying it because sometimes she'd say it when it didn't even make sense. Apples to apples, but it really drove me absolutely crazy. And I can't even think of that phrase anymore without thinking of her. Apples to apples. I know, I get it. But in what it means in this point is, look, if you say for example, you're testing, you like testing with your 5K races. Right. So you go and you do a lot of 5Ks and you run them hard and you just compare it to your prior 5Ks. Well, yes, that's comparable. And but it's the problem is some 5K courses will be really hilly. Some 5K courses might, they might be really flat. Some might be point to point and you're running uphill or you're just running downhill. So it's very hard to make it uniform. You want your test to be uniform. So for me, as a coach, what I do is I say, all right, go out to your local path, the pathway, the trail, whatever it is that you know this 1 mile, and you know where it starts and you know where it ends, and that's going to be our test ground. So that you can do that same period, hopefully flat. I kind of like testing on flat ground. That way, if you forget where that little area is, you can go to somewhere else and know, all right, it's just got to be relatively flat and I can still do the same test. So I try to get a flat area of a flat mile that we can repeat every single time in the same exact spot so that we're comparing apples to apples. So that being said, you can choose your own test. You may have a different test. I know plenty of marathon runners who they like going out. They don't like running a 1 mile. They don't like going, a 1 mile workout. That's not for them. It's not even like, it might as well be an off day for them to run 1 mile. It's not even, it's not a blip on their, minimally they want to run 8 miles. Hey, that's up to you. That's what you guys do. So, make your test appropriate, choose your own test, repeatable, and measurable, right? Make sure that's part of it. Choose your own test. Get it done by the end of the week. All right. And then we'll do a thread on the discussion group. That's what we'll do is we'll do a thread on the discussion group. So testing is important. B, we're going to try to test throughout this weekend, get it done, get something done. And then C, after the ordinary marathon, we're going to take a day off or two. We're going to kind of make sure we're in a good zone, and then we're going to test again, and we're going to see who improves the most over that period of time in whatever test. I mean, look, if you improve, you've got our backing, you've got our kudos, our congratulations. I think that's great. We want to push you in the right direction and give you plenty of support to make sure that you're improving. The bike. Let's talk about the bike really quickly. For me, the easiest test to do is an FTP test. An FTP test, by definition, is the amount of power that a cyclist can push out over a 1 hour period of time. The maximum amount of power over a 1 hour period of time measured in watts. So if you have the right trainer or if you have the right software, you can do that. Right, you can do that. I've done it. So I've done FTP tests plenty of times in the past, and it's gone. My lowest when I very first started cycling, this was back in 2016. My FTP was like 188, and now I think the highest I've ever tested was 234, which was the most recent. And I'm going to be testing again tomorrow. Actually, a few of us are going to get together. We maybe I don't know. I've asked a couple people. Some of them said maybe. I think Mike Romans is going to come join me. Maybe Jacob Polson, Matt Shore. Actually, I don't think Jacob can make it. I know Christian Lee couldn't make it. If anyone is out there and you want to do the FTP test, we're going to start it at 1 o'clock on Zwift. So if you're out there and you want to join me and you're listening to this, let me know. We'll add you to the group. I don't know how exactly it's going to work. It might totally blow up. We're going to live stream it so you guys can see it. So if you want to watch the FTP test on our YouTube channel, check in around 1 o'clock, and we're going to go after it. And we're going to be going hard. And I'll tell you the way that the ramp test works. So Zwift's ramp test is about a 5-minute warm up, and then you start at 100 watts. Every minute, every 60 seconds, it goes up by 20 watts. Right, so it starts off pretty easy at 100 watts, at least. And again, if you're, some cyclists weigh a lot less than me, and their FTP is going to naturally be less than mine, and some people are some people are skinny and their FTP is way more than me, but it's all relative is what I'm saying. So don't get insulted if your FTP is like 110 and I'm saying this is very easy. That's all I'm saying. So it starts at 100. Every minute it goes up by 20 watts, right? So it goes 100, 120, 140, 160, 180. And for me, that's kind of right around 200. It starts to get a little bit harder. The pushback starts to, I start feeling a little stressed, and you just keep going and going, and it keeps raising and getting higher and higher and higher until either your legs give out and you can't push it fast enough to keep up with what it wants, what the trainer wants, and you'll watch and you'll see your cadence will start to slow, right? Your cadence will start to slow, and then you just lose it, or you die. You get a heart attack. Well, I'm not really joking, but anyway, no, you don't die, But until you basically go until you quit, until you can't go anymore. Zwift then takes your average 1 minute of power, your highest 1 minute of power over that period of time, and it applies some formula that then spits out your FTP. The last time I did this test, I did it with a full stomach after dinner, and it hurt me. And I think I measured at like 212 watts. I think I can do better than that. That was the last time I did a ramp test. The last time I did a race a couple weeks ago, and I measured 234. So I'm kind of hoping I'll be between 230 and 240. We'll see. I feel really good lately. So hoping for the best. We'll see how it goes. Again, that will be live on our YouTube channel at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get some people to join me. We'll see how that works out. If you want to join me, let me know, and I'll certainly invite you, and we can. It's going to go down. It's going to be, and I'm telling you, you just push as hard as you can. So it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. There's going to be a lot of sweat involved, perhaps some cursing. We'll try to filter that out, but I don't know if it's going to work. Anyway, so that's that. We're going to get our testing done. We'll have those results for you. I'm going to do the mile test personally as my run test. I think I'm going to do that on Saturday or Sunday, and I'll fill you in on that one as well. Hopefully we'll get some people to participate here. People to participate and join us, and so we can see how you improve over a 1 month period of time. It'd be good to see, what better news could it possibly be than to be stuck at home for another month and sitting there, wallowing in misery, and then all of a sudden everyone improves themselves, at least with their physical activity and your physical, things that you like to do, things that you want to improve on. That would be a great event. Just to watch everybody improve over the course of the next month, wouldn't it? I think so. Well worth it. And it'll be a lot of fun. So that's what we're going to try to do. Test until through the weekend. We'll get a thread together on our social media, on our Facebook and Twitter, and then we'll test again. The only thing I ask, look, if you're gonna be involved in this, please go to ordinarymarathon.com and register for the race. I think look, it's for charity. The SamFund could certainly use the money, and we're really trying to get a lot of people together to make this to maximize the fun. Maximization of fun is key, folks, and that's what we're looking to do here. We also have our Thursday night ride today, 6:30 p.m. If you want to join us there, let me know. You got to follow me on Twitter, and then I'll send you the invite. Right now, I believe we've got about 8 people signed up to do it. I've invited like 30, but it's like one of those things where certain people show up some days and not others, and the invite goes out, and if you can squeeze it in, you can. Tonight, I think we're doing some music trivia too, so check it out. It'll be live streamed on our YouTube channel as well at 6:30 tonight. We'll do the FTP test tomorrow at 1 p.m., and then we'll do the mile test over the weekend. And let's get after it, guys, man. This is really cool. It's really cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys do and seeing all the support that comes up from this race. It's always a good time. It's always a great, it's just a positive thing. It's a positive thing for charity and for the community. So come join us, ordinarymarathon.com. Get your test done this weekend, and let's start kicking butt, and let's really improve over the next month. Focus on it. I know your races have been canceled. I know all that stuff's going down, but it doesn't mean that you can't get better. It doesn't mean that you should stop working hard. Let's do it. Remember, every day is an ordinary day unless you make it extraordinary. So get after it, guys.